Welcome to the International Society for Performance Improvement. Up next, Sonia DiMaulo and her book, The Apple in the Orchard, which was awarded Outstanding Human Performance Communication for 2017 from the International Society for Performance Improvement. Good afternoon, Facebook friends and family, and especially International Society for Performance Improvement members. I am Valerie Bernard, and I'm a volunteer for ISPI, and I'm coming to you live from Dallas, Texas today. And with me is Sonia DiMaulo, who is coming to us from Montreal, Canada. And just give me a minute to introduce this wonderful person. She is a global leadership innovator and a performance consultant, and her company is Harvest Performance. And here recently, she is also an award-winning author of the book, The Apple Orchard. And I am really excited about this. I met Sonia in 2015 at the International Society for Performance Improvement Conference in San Antonio, Texas, and she was presenting information regarding her work and her book, and she did a drawing, and I was never more excited when there were over 450 people there, and she picked me as the winner. So I got my personalized signed copy of The Apple Orchard, and I'm sure after hearing her presentation today, you're going to want to get your copy as well, and you'll even get a chance to get an autographed copy if you'll visit with us in Montreal at the International Society for Performance Improvement Conference this year, which is April 30th to May the 2nd. And Sonia is also a ISPI volunteer for the Montreal chapter and is just doing some amazing work there. And I've got my notes here because when I was checking Sonia's website out, she is so humble. And I know that she had won the award this year for her book, The Apple Orchard, but I did not know until I started digging a little deeper about her background how many awards she's actually won, and I want to make note of that. And so I've got my list, and I'm going to read from my list, but the 2017 Award of Excellence for Outstanding Human Performance Communication, once again, her book, The Apple in the Orchard. And then 2003 and 2010, International Society for Performance Improvement Award of Excellence for Outstanding Instructional Product and Intervention, and the 2004 International Society for Performance Improvement Lifetime Chapter Membership Award. She also has many instructor accreditations and is a facilitator and coach for Zinger Folkman, and then also a certified return on investment professional, and the list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. And what's just so wonderful about Sonia is she is one of the most humble leaders that I have met, and she's just out there truly changing the world. So now with that introduction, Sonia, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Valerie. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to start out with telling our viewers about your book, The Apple in the Orchard, and if you've got a copy there, please, I'd love for you to share that with us too. So tell us about your book.
Well, it's a beautiful story. I'm very proud of the book, and I love reading it. Often to my own surprise every time. So it's almost like I wrote it unknowingly how it would touch me over the years. And I'm very thrilled to be able to offer that to others, and very, very thrilled to have received the award this year from ISPI. And so it was born of a seed, to use the analogy, of the idea that I really wanted to help emerging leaders of all ages. And so sometimes people say, well, what age is an emerging leader? And I think 9 to 99. That's my age range, and we're always emerging. We're constantly emerging, and so in order to emerge and to accept that courage to emerge really is just to be aware. And so it's a story about awareness, and of course I use an apple in an apple orchard as my metaphor, but really it's about all of us, and in each our unique way to really just to be observant, to be aware, to embrace maybe something that we think is exciting but risky, and so embrace those challenges. And inevitably, every time I speak about the book or on the book, I get people coming up to me at the end saying, you were talking about me, and now I know what I have to do. So that's my reward, really, in that helping people to see that we're here for a purpose, and sometimes we have to take that courage, find the courage to emerge and do something that scares us a little, and in the end can have a huge impact on our legacy, but also legacy of the world. So that's a little bit my story in the book.
Wow, it's just wonderful. And so in addition to the organizations that you do consulting with and that you share this message with, I've noticed lately through some of your social media, you can find Sonia on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, but I've noticed that you're doing a lot of work with university students as well. Could you tell our viewers about this?
Absolutely. So I teach at Concordia University in Montreal, and I work with the future of performance improvements. I'm very honored to do that. I look at it as a role of advocacy to help teach our future performance improvement professionals on how to be ethical, obviously, in the work that we do, but also very careful in the impact that we can make, positive and negative. So I take it as a very serious profession. I love doing it. I've been teaching there for 6 years now, and I'm very excited to continue doing that, and I'm given the opportunity to do that. So that's I'm very honored and blessed to have that in my life. And, you know, it's interesting because I'm also looking at the younger generation and seeing, you know, how can we help impact those that are even in elementary school to help understand not only performance improvement as a career, as a profession, but really what are they going to do to solve tomorrow's challenges. And if we look at career development in that way, I think it's a little easier for our kids to be able to see what they can do for the future, as opposed to, oh, you know, what do we have available right now? Because I really do feel that our performance problems of the future, we don't have professions for those yet. So that's a very important thing for me, as well as also teaching teachers, helping teachers be the driving force for these young people and young students in our lives. And I just introduced the book to a group of teachers just last week, and my model for emerging, for finding the courage to emerge, I have a model that I've coupled with the book. And again, it's they're able to understand their place and how they're going to do that to be able to influence and impact this younger generation. Mm-hmm. And also to help the parents, because really it's about the parents and kids and helping them along this journey as teachers, but also as performance improvement professionals. How do we do that for our organizations? How do we become advocates? How do we teach about the things that we do and the value that we bring?
Mm-hmm. Well, our university students, and like you say, from kindergarten clear on through the university, it's truly about how they are going to emerge as leaders and shape the future of performance improvement and the future of our world even. So it's that's one of the things that attracted me to ISPI, was that we're truly working on the global goals. And when you think about poverty and hunger and all the things that are going on in the world, that we have an opportunity as members even of the International Society for Performance Improvement to make a difference in this area. And congratulations to you for doing that too. I know you're a world changer, and just sharing your message alone, and it is a lot deeper than just what we see on the surface. And ISPI has been around for over 55 years now, and the future of ISPI is going to depend on the people that you're talking right now, the university students. We need more university students to participate in the research and to get involved. Absolutely. And yeah, so it's just great work. I'm just always I'm definitely one of your biggest fans.
Well, the students know that I'm going to include them in all my sort of communications around ISPI, but also, you know, any professional association really that advocates for what we do to the betterment of organizations, but the world really in particular, and seeing how can we improve our state over time.
Yes, your point is duly noted, because as one of the greatest things that I think I did was joining an association over 25 years ago when I was, I hate to say it's been 25 years, but, you know, 2 decades and a half that I got involved in an association. And whether it's ISPI or another association in your industry, it's just so important to connect and network and to be a part of shaping the future. So
I agree.
Yes, I agree with you too, what you say. Well, tell us a little bit about Harvest Performance. You're the CEO of that consulting practice, and tell us a little bit about some of the work that you're doing and exciting things going on there.
Yeah. So yeah, that I've already alluded to some of the work that I do. My biggest passion, I guess the majority of my time is really focused on working with intact teams. I work with some schools so that the staff and the principal and the admin staff at schools, and so that's been a new thing that I've embraced over the past year. I'm really excited about working with teachers. But traditionally, I've worked with teams in organizations that want to be better, that want to go beyond their current performance, and it's mostly around communication. So it's how do we improve our communication? How do we improve our understanding of each other? And I call that the white space. We have to-do lists, and we have tasks, and we have performance metrics, and we've got to hit those things, and usually our team and individually we're focused on those elements. But what trips us up and keeps us from growing is really the white space, and that's the communication, the interaction, the connection, not only with each other in teams, but also with clients and all areas of those communications. And it could be the world if we work globally, and our impact to different people around the world that our companies might impact. So in essence, that's the passionate part of my work, and I work with leaders, obviously, of the teams, but I also believe that leadership is a personal thing, and so we can all be leaders of one, and there's a lot of principles in what I teach and what I help people understand is that self-awareness piece that we talked about from the book. Mm-hmm. So really to be aware, and we're in our heads, we live in our heads, it's a normal place to be, and we have to understand that we need to get out of our heads sometimes and understand that people aren't out to get us, that we can impact others by being open and communicative and empathetic to where other people are coming from, and not assume sometimes. And it could be as simple as that, and when we're stuck, that's a really helpful thing. I've got my dog barking. Somebody's at the door.
That's all right, but what you say, you're talking about the principles and teams and embracing the power that can come along with teams, and really that self-awareness that starts with you as an individual and figuring out what your purpose and passion is and how you can make a difference in the team, and whether it's a team at a school or a team in an organization or your family unit as a team, just to understand some of the principles that we can learn from your book and that we can learn from your teachings, and along with ISPI's tagline, "Being Better Matters," and our hashtag "Being Better Matters," I think all of this is just in perfect alignment with that.
It is. It is.
So, well, our conference, by now, I would think that most everybody that has followed ISPI know at least our members, and through the power of social media, several thousand other people know that we've got a conference coming up in Montreal, the 2017, The Joy of Work, Shaping the Future of Performance Improvement. And I'm so excited because this will actually be my first time ever to Canada. So I'm excited to come there, and so maybe there'll be other people, this will be their first time, but we're excited to visit Montreal, and it is your beautiful home city. So if you could share with us, Sonia, a little bit about, questions viewers might have. I know for me it's the weather. What should I pack, and where should we go in the evenings if we only had limited time in Montreal? Where should we visit, and what are some of the things that you'd like to share with our viewers about Montreal?
Mm-hmm. Well, first thing, the City of Montreal, and especially ISPI Montreal, is super excited to receive the international community of ISPI in our wonderful city. We are very excited, very honored, and we're working very hard to ensure that your stay is memorable and exciting. And so the team is hard at work to try to encourage you to come. So we're really hoping that you join us. And we've got some contests going on, so if you want to check out www.ispimontreal.org and we're inviting the global community to have a look and come and join us. We're so excited. So that's one piece of exciting news. The second, well, there's quite a few actually. I've got a list too.
Okay,
that's
great.
my list. So this year, Montreal was voted the top city in the world to visit.
Wow.
So what a great opportunity not only to visit Montreal, but to come and do the conference at the same time. So you can kill two birds with one stone. It also happens to be Canada's 150th anniversary and Montreal's 375th anniversary.
Wow.
So there are lots of things that are happening in the city that probably normally would not be happening. So it's a really exciting time. The city is going all out to ensure visitors enjoy their time. And the best time really is May until September. So May is our conference. So it kind of kicks off all these wonderful things that are happening. And the best part of it is the conference is going to be at the Sheraton. And it's really in the heart of the city. And it's walking distance to all kinds of wonderful areas, restaurants and nightlife, as well as Old Montreal, which is quite a big highlight. So we're hoping you can come and visit. We have lovely museums. And to your question about the weather, I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like, because right now it is super warm in Montreal. It's the end of February, and we've never had such a warm February. Stuff's melting, and the sun is out, and it's bright, and it's warm, and it's very lovely. So if all goes as planned, May is going to be gorgeous, and we're hoping that it becomes green for your arrival. May usually, we're never sure if it's going to be green, but I'm hoping for a green May for all the ISPI community members globally.
Well, we're so excited. I think this weather thing is everywhere right now. In Texas, the Texas tulips just bloomed, and usually that's not until the end of March, first part of April.
There you go.
So if we don't get out to the tulip patch pretty soon this week, they're going to be gone. So yes, I'm hopeful we'll have nice warm weather. But even if it's not warm, all those exciting things going on and all the celebrations on top of celebrating and shaping the future of performance improvement, it just sounds like a great place to be. And I'm excited. I've got my hotel booked already and my travel arranged. And I'd like to, you mentioned during that just now about the ISPI Montreal chapter, and you all have been just doing some amazing projects up there. I know in the fall, remember that Klaus Wittkuhn, our board president, was there and did a keynote presentation at an art gallery, and that was well received. What are some other things that Montreal has on their plate for this year?
So like I mentioned, we're doing a contest. We're running a contest to encourage local Montreal people to learn about ISPI, obviously, attend the conference, but also have a chance to come to one of the pre-conference workshops. So the giveaway, we're having a giveaway with 2 pre-conference workshop tickets. And so we're hoping people get involved with our online activities. That's aimed for global, but we're hoping it really helps our local community become aware. And everything we do is bilingual, so it really takes double the effort to run everything that we've been running. So our team is fantastic and great. The other thing we are just kicking off this week is we're going to have an event on April 6th with Michelle Holiday, who's also speaking at the conference, and I believe you're going to be interviewing her soon. And so she's going to be leading us through a wonderful activity around thrivability in her book. And so we're inviting the Montreal community to join us April 6th to bring their performance challenges. And we're actually going to work on them live using her model, and to see how we can thrive not only as individuals and as teams, but as organizations, and the world. So how can we align everything that we do at ISPI and performance improvement using thrivability as our goal? So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great event, and we're hoping that people can come local. Of course, it's a local event.
Yes.
But if you want to drive from anywhere, we're happy to receive you.
Well, that's great. And Michelle, doesn't she also have a TED Talk that people could take a look at?
She does.
Yeah, so
Michelle Holiday,
her TED Talk, and that's April 6th. And,
Yes.
and our viewers can learn more about that event at ISPI Montreal.
ISPIMontreal.org.
Okay, great. So yes, that's, and what are some of the cities in vicinity of that, Sonia, where people might be interested that it is within driving distance?
Well, we've often gotten people from Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. We've gotten people from Ontario and Toronto. And we're right up near the border of Maine and Vermont. And so we've often got some folks over there driving up. So probably a couple-hour drive, so it's not that far. So we're welcoming our entire eastern region to join us for the conference, of course,
yeah,
but for the event as well. Yes.
Yeah. So 2 opportunities in April 6th with the local chapter event, and ISPI Global is in Silver Spring, Maryland area, but we so depend on the chapters and to support the global efforts as well, and that's really what drives the global efforts is the local chapters, and we have over 15 of those right now in Washington, D.C., from Washington, D.C., and we've even got an Armed Forces chapter and the Texas chapter, which I'm a member of now, and is doing some great work as well. And so also we have chapters. So if you're viewing this today and you're interested in seeing about a local chapter, then we encourage you to do that as well. And we were supporting, ISPI was supporting Training Magazine Network as well in San Diego a few weeks ago, and from that I was able to meet 7 people that are in San Diego, and we have a meeting coming up this week, and so we're going to be launching a San Diego chapter, maybe relaunching. It's been a while since they've had a chapter there, so we just appreciate all the work that ISPI Montreal has been putting in to not only support the local members and grow that program, but also to support ISPI Global and welcome all of our national and international members into your beautiful city, Sonia. So thank you for what you're doing and what the Montreal chapter team is doing as well to make all this happen.
Well, thank you for everything that you do as well. So we're all in this together. That's the way we see it.
Comes back to your team and
absolutely.
Yeah, so is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know today before we sign off?
That's it. I think the number one thing that we're doing right now is just encouraging people to come on over to Montreal in May and join us for the ISPI conference so that we can learn about you, and also for our local community to learn about ISPI and the wonderful things that it does globally.
Well, thank you for the difference you're making too, Sonia, and especially thank you for the gift of your time today. I know how busy you are, so we appreciate that, and we will see you in Montreal.
Yes. Bye, Valerie.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
To join performance improvement professionals from more than 30 countries in Montreal, Canada, April 30th through May the 2nd, 2017, visit www.ispi.org.